Welcome back, everyone, to Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. I am Betska, the Guru Coach, together with Raj Vashisht from Delhi, India. And I don't know, folks. I hope
Beautiful
this is...
topic.
What's that, Raj? Sorry?
Beautiful topic.
Yes,
Beautiful.
very beautiful topic. Yeah, from a
And
beautiful lady.
fabulous, Lisa.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, fabulous, Lisa.
Thank
Look
you.
at, she glows, right? You can just see the angels around her. Like she's just like,
And
whoa, okay.
vibration, so much
Very
high
high
vibration.
Very high vibration. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Lisa
And
is
beautiful Bali behind.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, beautiful Bali behind. Yes, I've never been to Bali. Maybe one day. Oh, it's just stunning.
Oh, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people.
Yeah. Yes.
By the way, folks, that is hand carved wood. That's what you see behind Lisa, and it's a wow. It's absolutely stunning. Yeah.
Very beautiful vibes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are here to talk to Lisa about. She runs the Akashic Knowing School, and we've been discussing the Akashic Records. What are they? We've been talking about a soul plan, person's soul purpose, and so let's take another deep dive here, Lisa. How do our past lives affect our present life?
So when you decide you're coming back to Earth, when you get that go ahead, again, we're going to write a whole plan because we're very excited and we want to bring gifts and talents that we've already honed in other lifetimes with us. So we actually are writing our plan for this life, partially based on our past lives. So if you imagine that in many different lifetimes you were a nun or a priest, or maybe you were a guru or an ascetic monk somewhere in the world. And so you have been in many different kinds of spiritual paths, and you want to bring some of those gifts, right? And so one of the gifts you may choose to bring is, say, the power of the word. You bring the gift of prayer with you. You have the ability energetically. It's an interesting thing with prayer, is that it's not just, saying specific words. It's actually channeling and radiating the vibration of the word. And so that would be one of the gifts or talents you might have honed in many lives that you want to bring with you. And so we have that as kind of the accumulation of 20 different lives on your spiritual path, doing some type of prayer. And so we then look at the other sorts of maybe karmic patterns. Maybe there's been other lives where we were hurt or harmed or killed for those gifts, right? Most of us light workers know that we have, during the Dark Ages, again, about 1000 AD to really 1500, I think they consider the Dark Ages about 500 years. But when I look at past lives, I think it went much further up into 16, 17, even into the 1800s. Not sure that we're just barely coming out of the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah, really.
So much. But so when we get hurt or harmed or killed for using those gifts, we often then, we have aspects of fear, karmic patterns that say, even vows that say, I'm not going to use that gift again because it got me killed. So I may bring gifts, and I may bring the karmic pattern of having to heal my block to those gifts, right? So we might bring both of those aspects into a lifetime. And I would venture to say that most spiritual people have noticed that challenge, right? We want to do our work. We want to share our gifts. Maybe we are a medium and we can talk to our ancestors who have crossed, but we're really afraid to tell anybody that we can do that because we're really afraid they'll think we're crazy. We've been locked in insane asylums in past lives. You know, we've been run out of town. We've been locked in jail. I mean, right? So we bring these aspects from these other lifetimes, as well as the beautiful, supportive contracts, and we make those contracts with souls who are here to support us, whether it is a spouse or a child or a parent or a best friend or a business partner or somebody that you come together to share your wisdom, like you and Raj have come to do, right? So I would say that the two of you have many past lives together, supporting each other. And so we say, okay, this time we're going to play this game. We're going to do it this way. You're going to be in India and I'm going to be here and we're going to do this and we're going to make that happen, right? So we figure it out. So it's interesting for us because we're ancient beings. We get bored. And so we like to make things interesting. So we pull all sorts of weird stuff from our past lives to use in this life.
So the soul contracts that we have, that we made before we came into our bodies, all of those soul contracts are part of our soul plan, right? That we've
Correct.
chosen to execute, if you will, this lifetime. So in your case, your soul plan is to, open the Akashic Knowing School and help people heal, la, la, la. And the soul contracts that you've made, I mean, you and I probably have a soul contract, you and Raj, all of us gather together, and because the planet is elevating, yes, so more and more of that is, we're becoming more and more aware of the people who can support us in our journeys. So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's so beautiful because, we have the contracts with, support. We have the learning and the growth. We have the gifts. And I think that's the thing that people are often kind of looking for when they think about, what's my purpose, is maybe what gift do I have, a special gift, or what gift can I look to, maybe to make a living or to use or to start a business, and we do have those. And for some of us, of course, the gift of being able to access the Akashic Records. If somebody told me that when I was 20, I, again, probably would have told them they were nuts. Although that's not really true for me because I was born very awake. So I got on a spiritual path at 14 and when I started reading spiritual books. And so by the time I was 20, I had gotten a degree in philosophy at university on top of it. So I was born pretty out there.
That's too funny.
But for most people, we start to come into this sometimes in our 20s or 30s. A lot of people don't start to wake up until their kind of 40s or 50s. And often it's like that because there's a whole big piece of your purpose, which is more about this human world. And so I have also been married for 35 years and I have 3 children and I have raised my nephew. So I've raised 4 children, right? That's a big piece of my purpose. And writing books, big piece of my purpose, right? And speaking of prayer, let me just, I actually worked for 10 years as a prayer practitioner at the Unity Church here in the US. And when the record keeper said, let's write a prayer book, I was like, that's crazy. We're working in the Akashic Records. They were like, did you forget you spent 10 years in prayer with people and your clients and helping? We will channel these through the Akashic Records, and they will hold the Akashic vibration and high, beautiful consciousness of pure love, and people will be healed by these 73 prayers. And so I was like, oh,
Awesome.
yeah, wow.
Okay, I better write
Right?
this.
Right. So not only the Akashic Records, literally there's a whole purpose of doing the prayer work and becoming a minister, you know, and though my main purpose would be to anchor actually the Akashic Records back to earth, to download the 5-step wisdom prayer system that they've given me to teach this to humanity. But we have many, many, many purposes, or like they say, we would be bored out of our minds.
Absolutely. So I think you've already answered this question about, do soul contracts end? Yes, they do, right? I mean, we could sign a contract with someone and maybe it's for the first 40 years of our life. And then when we're starting to awaken, we have more soul contracts coming in, right?
Right, right, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, I think it's really great to know that most of our contracts are not lifetime contracts. Some of them are, a few of them are, and especially when we continue to stay aligned to our purposes, to all of the different support contracts, and to awaken consciously, to raise our consciousness. And so if you're in a relationship, a significant partnership, again, whether it's a business partnership or a significant relationship like a marriage contract or a contract even with your children, it's about really staying centered in your heart and being that love and that support for each other. And then they can continue on no matter what happens in your lives.
I want to share, you know, as I mentioned, I'm an executive coach and life coach and spiritual healer and trainer, just like you are. And I was coaching this very senior leader in government many years ago. And he came to the private session so distraught because he met this young woman and he fell in love. And he was so upset that he would have to tell his wife that he's moving on. And so I explained to him about soul contracts, that his soul contract with his wife had ended. You know, what they gathered together to learn was, you know, and we had a discussion about what they were to learn and do together. And then it was time to part ways. And he had another partner with which to have a soul contract. And I tell you, that man walked away from that session a free man. Because in society, we're told, no, you have to stay with this person, right?
Right.
And he was just overjoyed. And that kind of leads me to the last question here. And again, you've already talked about it, but maybe you could expand on it. And that is, do we just have relationships to learn a lesson, or is there more to it?
You know, I would say that a lot of our relationships are about soul growth. And so, yes, there's usually some version of learning. Of course, some can be traumatic contracts. And one of the things that I've really seen over the years in, you know, kind of the 10,000 readings I've done is that there's some collective really big contracts. So there are contracts on the planet that thousands or really millions of souls are part of, right? So instead of it just being you and your partner, there are big collective contracts. And one of them is about rebalancing the masculine and feminine energy, right? Divine masculine, sacred feminine has been so imbalanced over the last couple thousand years. And so we're coming to do that in so many different ways. Right? We write a contract with a specific, say, marriage partner or significant partner, and it may be a bit of an abusive contract. And it's about either working through it and coming back into emotional balance and support. Or sometimes the balance and the healing is about one of the people, one of the people, say, ending the relationship and standing in their own power.
Yeah, could be.
Right. So divine feminine has been squashed in our world for so long. So for a woman to stand up and say, I will not put up with this anymore. If you are not willing to go to therapy, counseling, spiritual path, transform, I will not take this abuse anymore. So we're rebalancing in so many ways. And honestly, I would say through the LGBTQ world, that's very much about rebalancing sexuality and rebalancing divine feminine and divine masculine within a physical body. Because we have a masculine channel and a feminine channel. Everybody has both masculine and feminine. And so we may choose to rebalance that in our own personal way. So those are huge contracts that millions, probably billions of people are working on right now, as well as these huge collective contracts to end abuse. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of these kinds of aspects, until we can really end some of these huge traumas that have held humanity locked down really in so many ways. We won't be able to awaken as a planet. So millions of light workers are here who have been born into abusive families to end the pattern from going on.
Right.
So,
yes, I had to do
right?
that. Yep, I had to do
So
that.
stepping in, maybe whether it's emotional or sexual or physical, whatever kind of abuse, saying it's going to end with me. I'm not going to pass that on to my family or my children. And even those ways, we have so many choices. We may choose to never marry, or we may choose to have a particularly loving, kind, supportive, compassionate family. So either way, there's no right or wrong. Right? Either way, we've entered that pattern in the ancestral lineage.
You know, it'd be so fascinating. Of course, we don't have time today to talk about it, but wow, because I'm thinking about what's going on in our world right now. You know, we had the Davos conference, and we had all the major leaders there, and the fighting, the wars that are going on, and the soul contract of these leaders would be so fascinating to look at. You know, why did they come here, right? What is their purpose? You know, so I mean, there's that would be very good for the awakening of these leaders, instead of fighting against each other, to realize that they're here for a reason, and this is the gift they're bringing, and this is the gift that so and so is bringing, and they're all coming together. And you know, Lisa, I have this feeling, it's more of a knowing, that this time in our history is pivotal for ending war, ending that kind of violence. You know, we're in the age of Aquarius, we're in the golden age, and all that sort of stuff is not tolerated at that frequency. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I'm excited. We're obviously seeing it in the world in so many ways, but like the record keepers always say, is that, the dark patterns, that the karma and all of the old, kind of contracts and patterns and darkness that have locked down our world for thousands and thousands of years, need to be seen so that we can change that and make a new choice and move higher vibrationally, consciously into these higher realms as we are ascending as a world. And the record keepers have long said to me, until we can actually balance some of what might sound as simple, masculine and feminine energy, bringing it into that space of divine masculine and sacred feminine. Again, we cannot really move into the fourth or fifth dimension until we do some of these very basic things. And so they're top, and peace is also one of those very basic things that has to happen before humanity can awaken. But it's also helping to awaken humanity. So it's, both sides of one coin.
Yeah. So just to summarize here, and what a fabulous discussion. Thank you for being with us here, Lisa. Is we have soul contracts with many people, and it's good to know who those are. And some of our soul contracts are ending, and that we each have a soul purpose, right? And layers of that, I'm sure, because as we get older, more of our purpose is revealed, if you will. And when we have tough times, it's okay, because we're working through what we came here to learn and to teach. Yeah, it's okay, and to accept it, and to really look at our gifts, because we each have so many gifts, and we can choose to use them or not, right? But I just think it's a fascinating topic. Folks, go to Lisa's website, akashicknowing.com. She's written many books. You can find them on Amazon, right?
Yes. Yeah, for all 4 of my books. So if you go to that homepage, you'll see the live events I have coming up. You'll see the 4 books. You'll see the Akashic readings that I offer, and the classes that I offer.
Happening.
So yes, lots and lots, just right there on that one homepage. You can scroll through all of it.
Yeah. Thank you for being here with us today. Yeah, I can see Raj really enjoyed it too. So thank you, Madame. Appreciate it.
Thank you.